and welcome. If you're wondering why I'm wearing this tie, well, it's in celebration of Tie Tuesday. Plus, at Scrummy's Corner, we take fashion very serious. The green theme is in celebration of St. Patrick's Day. We don't miss a beat here. Now, let's get to the next point of this video. Last night, I was playing some games with my wife, and I couldn't help but think how much math and literacy is built into a lot of our favorite board games and card games. Scrabble, for example, has math built in as you're trying to accumulate the most amount of points, and you're trying to hit those double and triple word and letter tile sections on the board, where you're still trying to spell out either the longest word or the word that's going to give you the most amount of points. We were playing one of my favorite games, Monopoly Deal, and it's a shortened version of the actual game Monopoly. It still has a lot of the same benefits as the board game Monopoly, but this takes 15 minutes or less per card game. So if you haven't heard of Monopoly Deal, I would highly recommend this if you're a fan of the Monopoly style games. I wanted to challenge you to come up with your own game. I've been looking online, trying to find new, fun adventures, games for my wife and I to play, but I want them to involve more math, specific math. And because we're working on fractions right now, I have kind of a fractions mindset. So I started turning some of our regular games into fractions-based games. And these aren't just straight my ideas. I had to do a lot of research to find inspiration to come up with different games. So one of the games I found already created is War. I love playing War. Now the idea behind War is I get a card, you get a card, whoever has the highest card wins. Very simple based. But to put a fraction spin on it, and yes, these are otter cards if you're wondering. To put a fraction spin on it, instead of pulling one card, each person will pull two cards. So this person has an 8 and a 9. So they have the option of making the fraction 8/9 or 9/8. Now, this person's going to want to choose 9/8 because 9/8 is actually greater than 1 whole. So it's going to give them the best, strongest combination to beat whatever the opponent might have. So they have just over 1 whole. Now the opponent has an ace and a 2. Now the ace represents a 1, the 2 represents a 2 obviously. So there's two options here. I could do 1/2, which is a pretty weak fraction compared to 9/8, or I can reverse it and make it 2/1, representing 2 whole. So this person would win all 4 of the cards. And if there's a tie, then obviously you're going to go to war again and make another fraction, and there's just more cards to win. So I thought this was kind of a fun twist on an existing game. Another game I thought about was Frisbee. So I love playing Frisbee with Diego, and he loves playing Frisbee with me. He gets most of the exercise, which is good for me. So instead of just playing regular Frisbee, I thought about adding points. Now I've turned just a regular piece of cardboard. You could do the same thing with a paper plate, or maybe if you have a folder that's lying around, you can cut it into a circle, or a pizza box, or any real kind of solid object. You can just cut into a circle. This belonged to a box of cereal. So the name of the game here is you turn the top into fractional pieces, and these are where the points come in. So as you throw the Frisbee and catch, you can either catch with one hand or two. It's up to how you want to play the game, but you have to add the points that your thumbs are touching. So here I would get 1/4 and 1/12. Now, if you're not good at adding fractions, especially with a different denominator, stick to just one hand, or just stick to one fraction, 1/8, 2/8, something like that. The difficulty level really depends on how strong you feel your ability with fractions are, and this can help you get better and better to eventually you can get to a board that's as complex as this one here. You could also take something as simple as dice. You could play a game with dice where each opponent gets 1 die or 2 dice. You roll, they roll, and you've got to come up with the strongest fraction, and you get points that way. You could also take parts of an existing game and maybe make a new board and have rules where you get to pay out money. So you've got part of an existing game and you're creating a new game on your own. Or maybe you want to take an existing game like bingo and turn it into fractions bingo. So create a board, and then you can create maybe a separate spinner where you put a pencil down with a paper clip, spin the paper clip, and if it lands on 1/8, anybody that has 1/8 gets to put a token down, and anybody that gets 5 in a row will get a bingo. So you can have fun with this. Another version I saw online was the game Pictionary. You can draw fractions, or you can draw pictures and you can shade in a certain fraction of the picture. They have to guess the picture and the fraction. You could do something with hopscotch. You could draw a hopscotch board outside in chalk, and you have maybe fractions you can jump to. You can only jump to like denominators, maybe 1/4 to 1/4, and you have to count on your way up, or maybe you have to add different denominators and try and see if you can get to one whole. Lots of things you can do. Dominoes already look like fractions. There's already a line drawn on the tile, there's numbers on the top and numbers on the bottom. You could do something with Legos. You could make some sort of a build with Legos, a certain color fraction. You can only use 1/5 of your design is red, 1/4 of your design is blue. You could do Connect 4. I've seen versions of Connect 4 online where they tape fractions to the actual chips that go into the Connect 4 game. So you have to create a whole. Maybe you've got thirds, fourths, and fifths, and your game is to try and get 3/3 in a row, or 4/4 in a row, 5/5 in a row. Really, the options are endless. It really depends on how creative you can be and how much you want to put into this. So my challenge to you is, if you enjoy games as much as I do, if you enjoy challenging yourself as much as I do, I'd like to see what you can come up with so that I could play a new game. Something that maybe I couldn't come up with, because what I've seen in schools thus far is that kids are a little bit more creative than adults. I give the example of the 4th grade games that were created using electricity. Now, when I was told to come look at these games, I was not sure what to expect. But what I saw blew my mind. Just the work that went into these games, the thought that went into these games, the rules behind these games to make them work, and they had an electrical component to them, was fantastic. So I'm very excited about what you're going to create. You're welcome to do this with a friend. You're welcome to do this with a parent. You're welcome to do this on your own. Use what you have around the house. Get permission from your parents first. And when you have something, have them send me a picture with some of the ground rules, or maybe a video of you playing, so I can see what you've created, and I would love to share out your ideas. If you have any questions, have your parents reach out to me. Have fun.